can't wait for Justice League.
I know.
Yeah, just out of
Did you
curiosity.
see that it leaked?
Yeah.
They fucking accidentally put it up live.
Yeah, so like the first hour got out there for a bit.
Yeah, but I guess people that saw it were like, it's fucking awesome.
Oh, I haven't seen anything from people that saw it yet. That's cool.
Yeah.
But I was just reading an article the other day where somebody was like, let's revisit the original, and they were just going through it, and the whole thing was like, how the fuck did this get to be what it was?
Warner Brothers.
So
That's
bad.
how that got
No,
to be what it was.
it was not Warner Brothers' fault. I mean, it was Warner Brothers' fault for allowing Joss Whedon to do what he did.
That's exactly it.
But to be fair, any studio would have done that at that time because of how much success he had, guiding Marvel. So it seemed like the obvious, all right, let Joss Whedon do what he wants to do.
Yeah, but the fact that they let him come in and just kind of like do his thing as opposed to say, hey, you know what? We had this movie already like 80% shot. Just finish it.
He was at that point where he could, and honestly, at that point, he was on such a roll that I could see where the studio would think, okay, well, Zack's last few things weren't so well received. Everything this guy does seems to turn to gold, and that was a big mistake.
Exactly, but that's once again,
I'm sure I
blame Warner. Like, yes, Joss Whedon fucked it up.
I'm talking about
this isn't new for Warner.
I'm not talking about like
they've been doing to all their fucking DC shit. They don't care about it.
No, I'm just I don't think it's that they don't care. I think they do care. I think they cared at least enough to go with something that seemed like a good idea.
They really don't care about it. They think they care about it, but the shit that they've been doing, they're trying to fucking brush the Snyder Cut under the rug. They don't even want it out. So they've had interviews with fucking like executive shit that are like they're trying to fucking brush this under the rug and just get it out there and done with. Which is like, really?
I haven't. Yeah. Everything I read from them was very positive toward it.
I've been reading articles the past few days, like all this shit that's coming out. I'm like, what are you doing? Just let it happen.
Where?
People want it.
Just send me that if you find it. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta fucking find where I was reading it. Well, anyway, it was yeah, it's basically them trying to like get this out as quickly as possible. They're doing the little promos on it, but that's really it. They're just trying to get it out and done with, and they have no intention of continuing the Snyder shit. They've already started.
Well, I figured they wouldn't continue the Snyder thing at this point.
Well, but the thing is, though, they could. They've actually got they've had them talking about it. They've talked with Snyder about possibly if they were to do an HBO Max run of just the Snyderverse, where it's his take on the DC universe, and then they can continue to do their own shit on the side.
I just assumed it would come down to how people react to this.
Yeah,
because it could be bad. Who knows?
It could be. I mean, to be
fair, as long as it's better than the
Batman
original.
vs Superman wasn't great either.
You know what? I love that movie, and I liked it at the time, and I still do, and I think
I have fun.
It got a bad rap. From people.
I have fun with it, but I don't. It's a very uneven movie. It's kind of all over the place, and they shoehorned in Doomsday at the very end when they didn't really have to.
That's fair.
They kind of had all they needed with Batman versus Superman, but then they wanted to they were trying to play catch up with Marvel to get to this Justice League point, as opposed to just telling a story for Batman and Superman.
I get that, but I still but I
still have fun with it. Yeah,
this isn't a the movie's bad, but I still enjoyed it. It's like, no, I liked the movie. I just enjoyed it from beginning to end, and I think Justice League, I would have hoped in retrospect, made a lot of people go, okay, it wasn't that bad. So they didn't realize what real bad could be.
Yeah, that Justice League definitely made me appreciate Batman vs Superman more. I like the Batman stuff in Batman vs Superman. I think they kind of dropped the ball with the Superman stuff, but that's one of the reasons is they shoehorned in all this Lex Luthor Doomsday stuff when they could have just fleshed out this Batman and Superman story. But that being said, I still really enjoy the movie. I can put it on and just have a good time with it. I enjoy watching it. Gripes aside. But that's also coming from somebody who's a comic book nerd. That's the little bit of comic book nerd in me that's fuck, man, could have gone so many different ways with it. You didn't. But now in retrospect, it's a little easier to swallow knowing that Justice League is whatever the fuck. You still didn't watch Suicide Squad. Jesus Christ. If you want to fucking appreciate Justice League even more.
No, I will not.
Suicide Squad.
Something tells me I won't.
You
Justice,
need to.
No. I mean that I won't. I mean that I won't appreciate Justice League.
Oh yeah. I know.
I'll watch Suicide Squad just because I want to know before the new one.
Yeah.
Also,
that and you should really see his Joker before seeing his Joker in Snyder Cut.
I really like Margot Robbie playing that character, and I don't give a shit about that character. I always thought everybody's obsession with it was really like stupid, I guess. Like I always hated the fetishization of that character. Like, she's so great, and it's like, is she? I always found her really annoying, but god damn it, when she's playing that role, I fucking love it. When fucking Birds of Prey was so good.
It was. Birds of Prey was fucking fantastic.
Yeah, so that won me over with that character. Now I'll watch that in anything.
Birds of Prey, honestly, that's the tone that Suicide Squad should have had.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a tug of war between fucking Warner and David Ayer.
That one. See, that's where I get the whole Warner thing, like especially in that era.
But that's what they're doing. They've been doing it.
I think it's you can definitely make the argument and it works. But I just mean, like, the way I see as Warner interfering is more that kind of interference. This felt more. The thing with Justice League just felt more like they went, all right, well, we suck at this apparently, so now we'll give it to this guy who seems to know what he's doing, and that was also a mistake.
Yeah.
So I guess what I mean is the quality of the movie I still attribute to Joss Whedon. Now they hired him, so it's still their fault. Yeah, I just mean that's what it's more on him than it is on the directors of the previous bad movies. Is I guess that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, what I'm saying is when I blame Warner, it's a blanket statement about how they've been handling DC as a whole. Yeah, because it's nothing new. Like
it is a shame
when Justice League came out and it was what it was. I honestly, it didn't even faze me. I was like, yeah. It's just
I was so hopeful that it would at least be all right. I still remember reading those reviews when they first came out, and I was like, "Oh no, how did they do this again?"
It really it almost has no redeeming qualities.
There's nothing good about it. Like the article I was reading, like they made some good cases for like the intro, like basically everything through the introduction being okay, like to set up the whole kid reporters talking to Superman and the whole like slow motion intro that Zack Snyder always does so well. And it's like, and then it all just falls apart.
You know what it had? I will say what his tone lent itself well to was the Flash scenes.
Yeah.
I think the Flash scenes tonally were like, oh, you know what? I could see the Flash movie feeling like this with this character. This all kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
The problem was that slammed in the middle of everything else.
Very out of place.
Kind of made it even worse.
Yeah.
Because I kind of liked the Flash stuff, and I was like, oh, you fucking ruined it.
Yeah, it was terribly put in there.
That's actually why that and the Cyborg stuff are the things that I'm most excited about. That and having a totally correct Batman.
That'll be cool.
A Batman that's not sitting there goofing on people and making fun, like cracking jokes. It's funny. Like the Snyder Cut is excited for it as I am. It's backseat. Like the only thing I'm even thinking about right now with DC is the Batman. That's the thing that I care about the most because I want to see people taking Batman completely seriously while also taking the comic books completely seriously. Like Nolan's, he took the inspiration from the comics, but he had his own thing going.
Yes.
That was it. It wasn't the comic books, it was Nolanverse. Whereas the Batman feels like a blend of so many different things. Like there's a little bit of animated series in there, there's a little bit of Nolan in there, there's a little bit of the comic books in there, and it all feels like that.
Yeah, plus, honestly, at this point, I feel like Matt Reeves can't do any wrong. Or at least he hasn't yet. Like, it can always happen eventually, but so far he's had such a good track record that I trust him to do a good job.
No, I think he's going to fucking nail it. Although, I hate that we have this much access to fucking behind the scenes shit going on.
Because of everything going on with Robert Pattinson?
Yeah, because I'm like, is that real? Is it not? I don't know. And I really hope this doesn't affect the movie. I hope the movie comes out. I hope COVID didn't fucking hit it too hard. Because the trailer was so goddamn good.
A lot of what I get is what I see as far as like news headlines anymore. Because on my phone I just pull up Google News and it just is based on what I'm searching already, so it'll pull up a lot of movie stuff. And there's this one site that I started realizing was always coming up and was always negative as shit, called Cosmic Book News.
Oh, yeah.
They are, and I started to realize that so much of the negative shit about anything like that kind of stuff was coming from sites like that. Or We Got This Covered is another one.
Yeah.
And it's these fucking awful sites that, yeah, part of me is like, how true is this? Like, maybe there's issues, but I feel like if it's coming from sites like that.
Honestly, this is the kind of shit that makes me wish that we had started a film channel. Because like all these, like the YouTube channels that'll pop up on my feed, I get these things that'll be like, well, after WandaVision and Black Widow, are we suffering Marvel fatigue? And I'm like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
To say we are suffering, like I'm having a fucking blast with this shit. Like
now that would actually be a great angle to take on stuff. Like if we did.
What if we just made a channel where we just we basically just rip into all the negative shit? Where we're like, shut the fuck up with this bullshit. Well, let people enjoy their movies.
Well, when we make a channel, like make that a part of it, and if we can get something like that, 100% enough.
Well, that's originally when I mentioned the film Optimists thing.
Yeah,
where we find movies that people kind of shit on. We're like, well, you know what? You can shit on all you want. Fact is, it's not a bad film.
Yeah. And see, this is why, like, yeah, I really want to
make a channel dedicated to bad film versus films you didn't enjoy.
I don't think needing to make its own channel right away is that, like, I think if we get a channel and we do that on there and it becomes successful enough, make it its own thing.
Yeah,
that's what I see a lot of channels that do break off anymore.
Yeah,
that's kind of how they do it.
Then once they get the following and know that people will follow it.
But we should make it like a video podcast. If I do that thing where I get those two cameras, we set it up, have a camera on each of us, have the wide, and then just put it up as a podcast on.
And then we could also incorporate the whole not necessarily reaction thing, but play movie trailers, play video clips, play interviews. Yes. And be like, all right, well, you know what? This is what we gathered from this, and it's not as bad as everybody else is saying.
And hey, we could become a film news thing. Just keep making, like, whenever there's breaking news, just be like, all right, let's go set up real quick and talk about it, and then put it out.
I mean, there are enough people that are doing it that don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah. And that'll just be our thing we become known for, is that we're very optimistic people.
Yeah.
We're not going to sit here and badmouth things. So if you hate people who are always so negative about movies and movie news.
I can't stand it. It fucking drives me nuts. I don't understand. I'll never understand wanting to shit on a movie.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I get, like, in the case of Justice League, I get calling a movie out for its shit, but at the same time, like, I can still watch Justice League. I'll sit there and I'm not going to go like, why am I doing this? Fuck this. Like, I'll watch it and be like, you know what? Missed opportunity, but it's got some cool shit.
I mean, I'll shit on Justice League, but it doesn't mean that I can't.
You can't just
exactly
turn it
like
on
right
and be
there.
like,
I'll be like,
that's pretty cool.
Hey, the first 5 to 10 minutes is pretty good.
Oh, exactly.
Jason Momoa is very charming.
Not to mention the fact that it's kind of a miracle that we even have the movie to begin with.
Fair,
Think back
I guess.
Fucking 20 years. The entire concept of us having these branching stories and fucking these ensemble casts in comic book movies is fucking unheard of.
Yeah, I mean the whole like when people complain about too many comic book things, that is kind of like, shut up. I'm really enjoying this.
I honestly, the way I see it is Louis C.K. had a bit about this about cell phones, about how about people getting upset that their cell phone was slow or like, it's slow, and it's like, what are you talking about? You've got the miracle of technology in the palm of your hand. Sure, it takes a little while to load. It's loading data. It's shooting up into the sky and back down to your phone. And that's how I feel about movies. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's how I feel about movies just in general. Like, it's a miracle that we're watching this thing take place just because of all that goes into it.
Yeah, someone's spending a lot of money to make something to entertain you. Yeah. And if you didn't like it, it's like, okay, you don't have to like something, but then don't turn into this crusade where you just want to shit on something constantly just so that people can, and the people who do it just so everyone around them will listen to them and be like,
together.
This guy's great at shitting on movies. I like him.
Have you ever heard of Mike Zero?
No.
I think that's his name. Hold on. I don't know if this channel's even serious. There's a guy called Mike Zero. He does Star Wars news. all he does is he either shits on stuff or he gives fake news to things. Where it's like
so he reports it as news, just whatever he feels like talking about it, like
literally
whatever he thinks of.
Yeah, Kathleen Kennedy is getting fired from TV series.
Oh,
and Gina Carano fired details, and like stuff like that, where it's like he'll take what's going on, and he'll claim to have fucking sources for this stuff, or this, or that, and you're like, none of this is real, and yet somehow people fucking latch onto it. He
just tells people what they want to hear.
It's not even, I wouldn't even say that, because you look at it and you're like, I don't want to hear any of this. I don't think anybody
you
does.
And I don't, but a lot of people who are the same as this guy will just sit there and be, because that's what they want to hear. They're so angry about the new movies, they want to hear that Kathleen Kennedy's out. And so when he reports that, they're like, yeah, good.
Dude, every single upload from him for the past 2 months.
I looked him up. See what you mean.
Every single upload is about the Gina Carano firing and all these different fucking, like, all these twists and angles about Kathleen Kennedy being ousted from Lucasfilm.
Yeah.
And what they don't realize is, hey, guess what? Guess who hired Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni to do the thing that they did? Kathleen fucking Kennedy. She's not going anywhere.
Yeah, and like, I think there's valid criticisms you can
sure there
direct
are.
toward her, but just making shit up out of thin air is like,
yeah,
this is ridiculous. Yeah, I'm looking through it too. It's
just people wanting to shit on stuff, and I don't get it.
People love that, and I don't. It's just the way. I mean, it's been like this a while now. Like, I remember when it was a relatively new thing. Like, it really came about with the internet because negativity gets attention more than positivity.
Yeah,
usually. But now it's been the reality for like 15, 20 years. So
what you're saying is we need to be the voice of change.
Yeah. You know, at some point, I'm definitely gonna edit this and put text on screen that says we're gonna play Rocket League, and then it just sort of turned into a podcast.
Yeah, podcast.
So
that's fine.
So guys, if you want to see that, let us know. We do talk about how later this year, I'm trying to buy a home, and the idea is we would all be in the same place, and being able to record things on a more regular basis with the gaming, but also with other things like this.
Yeah,
potential podcast
or this YouTube
comedy
channel
videos
that we're talking about.
So yeah, if that's the kind of thing you want to see, and you're ready to be positive about things, just let us know down in the comments.
I think people are ready for it. I think people need people that are just excited about shit, even like menial shit, like tiny movies, because a lot of these channels that you'll see that are like hyping up the Marvel stuff and this and that, they're doing the stuff that is popular. Granted, I get it. It's YouTube. You're trying to hit the algorithm. You're trying to build an audience.
Yes.
But I also want to kind of treat it like we treat our gaming channel. For better or for worse, I kind of like the fact that we play the old shit that nobody knows about. So for us to take a movie that people forgot about, I don't know, fucking Father's Day. How about that? Ugh. Father's Day is a funny movie. I don't give a shit. I don't care what anybody says.
I bet it is. I bet if I watched it now, I'd be like, yeah, it's pretty funny.
That movie's funny as shit. It's Robin Williams and Billy Crystal. How can that not be funny? It is. But people shit on that movie. I don't get it.
People shit on Father's Day all the time?
People, back in the day, people didn't really
Also, both of those men are absolutely capable of making things that aren't funny.
I know that.
Billy Crystal, especially.
Billy Crystal,
God,
yeah,
he's
Billy
funny.
Crystal.
But when he misses,
is so funny and not funny.
He kind of reminds me of Mike Myers, where it's like when he's funny, he's really funny, and when he's not, oh boy, it cringy.
That's another one. Cat in the Hat. I'll defend that movie till the day I die because that movie is fucking batshit crazy.
That movie, I think it's the fun, the parts that because I never watched the movie in full, but I've seen like all the most famous scenes from it.
You need to watch it, but you can't watch it as a Dr. Seuss film. You have to watch it as a fucking madman's fever.
Yeah, it just sucks that because of that movie, they can't make live action Dr. Seuss movies anymore.
I know. It's so crazy though.
It's like, unfortunate.
Just as a moviegoer, just as going and watching a movie,
yeah,
it's nuts.
It's
a crazy movie.
I loved the Grinch, the live action one.
Oh yeah, that was fantastic.
And just the fact that we can't do stuff like that anymore because Cat in the Hat makes me so upset.
Yeah, but you know what though? I don't necessarily need live action Dr. Seuss stuff that much. I think
if I don't get my live action, one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish.
But they can do it the way that they did the Lorax or Horton Hears a Who, which were fantastic.
Which, by the way, when are they
Who is great.
When are I didn't see it, but I did hear it was very good. But when are they going to make a one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish movie?
I don't know.
It feels like it's so easy because there's no real story.
I would imagine we'd get a Green Eggs and Ham first.
Green Eggs and Ham feels like adapting an author's like biggest work. So it's
but I feel like that's gotta be the first one to happen. Maybe. If they were going to do that again, I think they'd hit that before one fish, two fish.
I feel like the fish one would be easy just because like you could go anywhere with it. It's just a book to teach you about counting and colors.
What was the one with the star-bellied Sneetches?
Oh God, I don't remember which one, but I remember.
Oh, it was just the Sneetches. That was one that I was like, yeah, that I used to love the Sneetches. That was actually one of my favorite Dr. Seuss books when I was a kid. Was about the star-bellied Sneetches. It was just these yellow bird-looking things that had green star belly buttons.
Adorable.
Yeah.
You know who should do a one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish movie?
Pixar.
I mean, director-wise, Phil Lord and Chris Miller.
Oh, dude, they should take control of Dr. Seuss in general.
Yeah, I could just see them coming up with something good for that.
Yeah, those guys. They've done no wrong. They have yet to do anything. I'm pretty sure. Lord and Taylor. Let me see.
No, not Lord and Taylor. Lord and Miller. Lord and Taylor.
Sorry, Lord and Taylor's a fucking
department store.
Sorry, Lord and Miller. Lord and Miller.
Let me tell you about Lord and Taylor though. They went out of business near me, and they had everything at like 80-something% off. And if you spent $300, you saved $70. And Christine and I, right before Christmas, we went there and we got it up to like $280 something. And the cashier's like, "Go get something else. You'll save money." And Christine's like, "Oh, okay." And she runs and grabs the thing, comes back, and it's still short. She's like, 4 times she had to run and grab something because we're just standing there awkwardly, waiting to save us $70.
All right, real quick.
Yes.
Directing wise, they haven't done much. So Lord and Miller did Clone High, which I never watched.
I never watched that. I always heard good things about it.
But they did Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, which is phenomenal.
That's what really first got him out there.
Yeah. 21 and 22 Jump Street, which are both hilarious.
Oh, brilliant.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine, the pilot.
That makes
Lego
sense.
Movie. The first, I believe it was the first 2 episodes of Last Man on Earth.
Yes, that's right. They did start that.
Which also phenomenal.
Yeah.
And now they have 3 announced projects. That's all they've done directing wise. They've written and produced a bunch.
Producing, they do great. I remember they produced that time travel show with Adam Pally and somebody else that I really wanted to watch, but then they canceled it and I was so sad.
So Making History?
Yes.
I never watched that.
It's something
I
like...
love Adam Pally though.
Yeah. I wish he would be in a show that succeeds.
I know.
I mean, I know he was in the one show that lasted a while, but...
Yeah, I actually watched that show. That was oh my God.
I watched some of it, and I remember always liking it. He was my favorite part.
Oh, why can't I remember what the hell that show was? How did I always...
Hang on, I'll find it.
Hold on. It's, Jesus Christ. I hate myself.
Adam Pally, let's see.
I hate myself. I hate myself so much.
Why isn't it the most there it is. There it is.
Happy Endings. Happy Endings.
Yes.
Happy
okay.
Endings.
I was just
Happy
about
Endings
to...
is fantastic.
Okay. Hey, what's this about 2011 to 2020 Happy Endings?
2011 to 2020.
I thought that show was canceled. Like,
it only had like 2 seasons, I think.
Yeah, but now when I look on IMDb, it's like Happy Endings 2011 to 2020. Which almost makes me think, like, are they bringing it back, like, for an extra season? And IMDb's just a little behind, like they pushed it to this year?
No, there's one that's listed as 2020. 6 friends, 1 Zoom call. Oh, they did a reunion. They did a reunion Zoom thing for the pandemic.
Oh, did you see Party Down's coming back for a season?
I posted it on Facebook. Yeah,
nice.
Dude.
I don't see things on Facebook.
Happy. I know. I was just letting you know.
I only see...
Happy.
I'm glad you are. Yeah, I can't wait. I gotta rewatch it's been... The last time I watched that series was like 10 years ago, so...
I was listening to a podcast where somebody... Oh, wait. What was it? somebody had brought up Ken Marino. Oh no, it was you ever see the Tig Notaro thing on Funny or Die where she interviews people? She interviews celebrities, but she doesn't know who they are, so the whole interview is her trying to figure out who they are.
No, that's a good idea.
It's pretty funny. Yeah, it's they only did like 10 of them, but Julie Bowen was on one episode. She did it with Lena Headey, and it was fantastic. Lena Headey is adorable. Like such a cool person.
Is that the one from Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
Oh, I love her. She's a
dread.
You ever see her on Conan?
Yeah.
Where she's nervous and can barely speak at times because she hates doing those things.
She's so adorable.
I'm like, that's me. That's how I feel. So Lena Headey is like the one I relate most to when she's on talk shows.
What was well, she did this. One of the things was she had to get a clue. Oh, I think might have been Tony Shalhoub. But they had to call a mutual friend, and it was Ken Marino. And as soon as they did that, I was like, oh, Ken Marino. And then I saw the news about Party Down an hour later. So I was like, oh my God, more Ken Marino. Because Ken Marino, if you guys don't know out there, is one of the funniest human beings on the planet.
Did you know?
And people don't realize it.
Did you watch Burning Love?
No.
Watch Burning Love, the entire thing. It's the funniest Ken Marino has ever been, I think.
Really?
He's the main guy. It's a Bachelor parody, but it's shot with like the same cameras. It's edited the same way as The Bachelor. It's presented entirely like The Bachelor. Ken Marino he's the Bachelor.
Oh, God.
And Michael Ian Black is the host.
Oh, so it's basically just the guys from the state doing
The
Bachelor.
I mean, the entire cast is people that, if you watch, it's like almost everybody from
Wet
Hot American Summer.
I see a bunch of Children's Hospital people and Wet Hot American Summer people.
It's basically a lot of the David Wayne actors are all in it.
Yeah.
And
is David Wayne the one that did it?
I wouldn't be surprised if he was involved, but I'm not sure. But they did 3 seasons. The first one's The Bachelor, the second one's Bachelorette, the third one is like Bachelor Island or whatever. Like, it's one of those ones where they put all the people from the show in a house together just to see, like, for multiple seasons to see what happens.
Oh, shit. Okay, so David Wayne wasn't involved, but created by Erica Oyama, directed by Ken Marino.
Yeah, then that's Ken Marino's wife.
Okay.
That's right.
Oh, so okay. All right. And starring Michael Ian Black, executive producers, Jonathan Stern, Stuart Confield, Michael Rosenstein.
Smartest thing they did with that show. Yeah, he appears on it at some point too.
Kristen Bell's in it.
The smartest thing they did with that show was just shooting it and editing it like The Bachelor.
Yeah.
So it's so funny. And the only reason people didn't really see it because it started on Yahoo when Yahoo was like, we're going to make series now.
Right.
And it was a huge
it's on Pluto TV. Okay.
Watch it. It's a real quick watch because I think the episodes were like 10 to 15 minutes each.
Okay, so they treated it like an Adult Swim kind of thing.
Yeah. So funny, that thing. Yeah. So watch that.
Adam Pally. So, did you know that he was one of the stormtrooper? Wait, did you watch Mandalorian season 1?
Yeah.
Okay. He was one of the stormtroopers in the beginning, or in the last episode that punched Baby Yoda. It was him and fucking Sudeikis.
Yep.
It was funny because as soon as I clued in on Sudeikis' voice at first, I'm like, that sounds familiar. As soon as I heard Adam Pally, I'm like, no fucking way. There's no way.
Yeah, I heard it too. I think I heard his voice and was like, oh my God, and like pulled up IMDb. I'm like, oh my God, it's him.
And him showing up in Sonic the Hedgehog also made me really happy. Which I feel like not enough people talk about Sonic the Hedgehog, by the way. That movie was
It's the last movie I saw in theaters before everything.
Me too.
It was a great time.
And the sequel is like, I think done. I think they may have finished filming.
I think they probably finished shooting. I think it's probably next year or end of the year. But I remember somebody was pointing out, they're like, the last movie I saw was Sonic the Hedgehog. The next movie I see in theaters might be Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Yeah.
The timing.
I'm really hoping that they let Jim Carrey go fat Robotnik, though.
Because they looked like it from that ending scene.
They were leaning into it. They were leaning into him going full Robotnik. So I'm hoping that we get, like, fat suit Jim Carrey. I hope he goes all in.
Yeah,
and makes himself Robotnik. I wouldn't see him doing it any other way, actually.
You mentioned Jason Sudeikis before. Other show to watch. Did you watch or hear about Ted Lasso yet?
No.
Okay. Ted Lasso, it just swept like all the Critics' Choice Awards, and a lot of people think it's going to get like whatever, Golden Globes, Emmys, whatever it is that's next. It's one, I've watched it through. I never get time to do this, but I've watched it through 3 times now. Because it's 30-minute episodes. It's 10 episodes long. It's pretty quick. It's a character that Jason Sudeikis did for commercials on ESPN, where it's just like a very folksy guy from Oklahoma who's a college football coach.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like, that was the character. It was just a little interstitial thing. And they made a show that if you look up like Ted Lasso reviews, almost every headline is like, I don't know why, but this is one of the greatest shows ever made. Like, I don't know how they did it. Because it's just him. It takes place with the soccer team in England, where the owner has been cheating on his wife, and she divorces him, and she gets the soccer team in the divorce, and she wants the team to tank because her ex-husband loves it. So she hires Ted Lasso from the middle of Oklahoma, who coaches American college football, to come out and coach soccer in England on one of the biggest teams out there. And it's just basically about Jason Sudeikis coming out and using his folksy charm to win over an entire country. And it's so...
Oh, Juno Temple's in it.
Yeah. Oh, she's great. If you like Juno Temple, then that's the show for you, because she's wonderful. It's from the guy that did Scrubs and Cougar Town, and I like his humor.
I feel like we haven't gotten enough Juno Temple in the last like 6 years.
Well, then
she was really big for like 3 or 4 years. Like, she was popping up in everything.
I didn't really see her in anything that I like. This was the first thing I really saw her in, and I loved her in it.
I started seeing her around what was it? Probably around the time. No, probably around year 1 when she did year 1. What was that? 2008.
Oh, geez, I don't know.
2009.
I remember watching that movie, and it didn't make a huge impression on me.
You know what? I will say that's one, going back and rewatching it, I felt the same way the first time I saw it, and then my dad was obsessed with it. So when I was up in Maine, he would put it on every now and then, and I started watching it more, and I was like, you know what? This movie's kind of hilarious.
Wasn't that Harold Ramis's last movie?
Yeah. But it's really funny. It's got a lot of really good just little gags.
It did have
especially
a good cast.
if you know the Bible and like some of the older like Old Testament shit. It's actually really it's so silly and so stupid but fantastic. Like Paul Rudd and David Cross as Cain and Abel is
I remember
my absolute
seeing
favorite
that too.
thing. It's just them being shitty brothers to each other, and Jack Black and Michael Cera having to just kind of like be there and uncomfortably watch two brothers be really shitty to each other is so fucking funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where I kind of like noticed Juno Temple, and then she started popping up in a lot of other like little like not big things, but she was in like Dark Knight Rises for like a few minutes, and like Horns she was in. So there was like a 5-year stretch where she was in a lot of stuff, and then I feel like the past few years whatever she's been doing hasn't really been like thrown in your face. It's all just smaller shit.
She might it might help with this show though, because she's one of the like main supporting people, and she's one of the best parts of the show, so hopefully that'll help her get out there. The main lady, Hannah Waddingham, I think is her name, but she was on Game of Thrones. Did you watch Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
I always forget if you did. Okay.
Yeah, I watched the whole thing.
Oh, Breaking Bad's the show you didn't watch all of. Okay.
That's only just I only
the last season. Right?
Yeah, most of the last season.
She's the one from Game of Thrones who was behind Cersei going, shame.
Oh, yeah.
And she's so good. Like, actually seeing her just play like a normal character, she's really good on it. And she's also, like, her, Jason Sudeikis, and just the show are winning all the TV awards right now.
That's cool.
All right, well, you know what? I have to pee. This has
been
a nice
movie talk with Chad and Russ.
This has been a nice talk. Tomorrow, I guess we go back to Rocket League. Let's do that drop shot thing.
League, huh?
Let's do the drop shot thing we were talking about right after I go to the bathroom.
All right, we're going to do it.
All right, and yeah, if you like this, again, let us know down in the comments.
If you want to see videos, not just podcast audio only, but if you want to see videos of us talking about movies and why we should all just, fucking ease up and enjoy them, let us know.
We'll see you back here tomorrow.
Goodbye.